Hey guys, it's Paul from Bully's Painting Parlour, and I thought I would show you something a bit special today. I recently posted a couple of pictures on Facebook, and it'll be the first time in about a year or so that I've posted any updates on this project, and that got a lot of attention. So what I thought I'd do is take some more up-to-date pictures on where I'm at, and also to take you on a little bit of a video tour and walk around of the stadium. So the story behind this is it's obviously a Dwarven Blood Bowl stadium. The project has been going for about 2.5 years, but I've only got about 100 crowd left to paint and a few more little scenic bits and dioramas to add. So the vast majority of the structure, as you can see now, is all done and ready, and that's a cool place to be at. The project is for my son Jacob, who is currently 6 years old. So when he is old enough to learn to play Blood Bowl, I want to play with my son. And I want to have a stadium, or I wanted to have a stadium that would always hold his attention. It can be a bit difficult learning war games, as you all know. So I figured if there was lots of things to keep his attention, he would stay with Daddy and learn to play. So the stadium is called Hammerhold, and it's set in the fortress of Icehaven in the mountains. It's one of the big dwarven northern fortresses and mountaintop strongholds, and the resident home team are called the Icehaven Bluecocks. Yes, that's meant to be a very obvious pun. So the Bluecocks are my team, and I am currently in the process of building Jacob a team, and I don't know what I'll call them or what they're like at the minute. So Hammerhold Stadium is awesome. It's set in the very pinnacle of the mountain, where the tops of these support the ceiling of the chamber. So it's pretty high, and then the outside of the pillars is actually the outside of the mountain, so you can see the snow and ice and all the mini dioramas on the outside. So it's a standard Blood Bowl pitch. If I do it lengthways, you'll get a better idea. It's all built out of a majority of blue foam. In fairness, the initial shout out goes to my friend David Coates at JMD. He's a really good mate of mine, and David is a wizard when it comes to blue foam work. So David built the structural stands and everything out of blue foam, and then all of the details and paint job and everything else is all done by me, and all the custom sculpts and stuff that I'll show you now. But the blue foam stadium itself came from David at JMD. It's JMD Scenery on Facebook, by the way. Okay, so let's give you a little bit of a tour of Hammerhold. If we start at this end, if I just come in, hopefully you can see this. So the front and back ends of the stadium have entrance doors to the primary stands. At the back there is a toilet which has the up the wall gang in it, having a wee or two, and then it's got the guy doing a dump and some puke from Pukey in the up the wall gang. I think you can probably see the tiny sculpted turd in the toilet and all the wee and urinals and stuff. So the project is a living museum as well. It's all oldhammer, and it'll all be vintage figures and vintage parts. Moving into stunties, heavily modelled on the Cheers bar sign, you've got the pub, or the stadium bar, and I've got all the drunken dwarves and everything to add. So we've got the very rare Inkeep model here, and then I have sculpted all of the food and drink and everything else. And then on the walls you've got a homage to the game Bugman's, and I've hand painted cameos of the 4 characters from Bugman's. And if we come down here, we've got another real rare one which I just updated, and that's the Flasher. I was looking for him for, oh, might have just blocked the mic there. I was looking for him for 10 years, and all of these little areas of stuff here, they come from Ristall's Market, and they are just their food and drink stuff. And then this is all sculpted ketchup bottles and all that sort of crap, and then that's the hand basin for the toilets. Okay, so if we move round to the home stand, you can see the door that the mighty Bluecocks will come through onto the stadium, and then you've got the primary home viewing stand with a little market stall which will be there for, you know, selling hot dogs and stuff like that. You've got the dugouts here, which everyone will be very familiar with. They've got kind of tactics boards and casualty stuff. I've put lots of boxes around containing, you know, spare scenery and everything else. And then I got a load of laser cut signs made by my mate Paul Rist. Thank you very much, Paul, for doing these. So he cut me out on ABS plasticard and card loads of these little signs, which is why they all look so nice, because I've then taken them and painted them, and it's nice. So then we got the primary section of the board, and the board is full of all sorts of details and markings, as you would expect. There's the odd splats and corpse marks and stuff like that, as you'd expect for a fun board for a kid to play on. And if we come over this side, we've got the scoreboard side, and just try and focus on that. There we go. Nope. Hang on. Sorry, I'm doing this on the bed and it's a mess in here because I haven't done the housework yet. Right, here we go. So we've got here, they are underneath this magnetic scoreboard, obviously, and the windows behind it, so sorry for the really bad lighting. Underneath the scoreboard, you can see in the pictures better, is that they're extending and they've found a hoard of treasure. So all the miners will be fighting each other over the treasure. And there's another small bar up here. And then here's a favourite bit of mine. We've got the bookies with a very angry dwarf on his way up to take his winnings back, or try to. There'll be the dwarf merchants in there with some bodyguards and stuff like that. And we've got more signage. In each corner you'll see from Scoreboard their dwarven dice holder. That's just a nice statue touch, and it holds the dice for the game. And then we've got another stand on the visitors side, which has got another food offering and more boxes and stuff. And concealed in the boxes here is the clear acrylic rod, which takes you up to my favourite little thing, which is the Goodyear Blimp, or the Goodyear Blimp. The pilot I haven't painted yet, but this will be trogging around the station, the stadium, and throwing beer down to people and advertising. That was a lot of fun to scratch build. You can see, keeping with the theme, I've used the parts of several of the original oldhammer gyrocopters, and then I have used an old American football toy and made it into a blimp, basically. This is the visitors' dugouts, and obviously they've got all of their turn markings on the sides so you can play. And then we've got all the external pillars, which are covered in ice and snow, and each external pillar will also have a diorama on it. So we've got one of the old hammer trolls, which were turned into an ice troll with an icicle beard, and he will be being stalked by a slayer. On this one we've got something which is loads of fun. This is a Goblin Ambush, and they're all very cold with blue feet and blue noses, as they've been waiting for a while to dump stones on the Dwarven patrol. And there'll be some Ice Haven soldiers walking along under here, and they'll be dropping stuff on them. This one doesn't have anything on it yet, but this will have, here it'll have the Alpine Dwarf skiing down, and maybe a couple of other dwarves. Up here, by the way, you notice above the scoreboard there's a wooden gantry. There's going to be one of the Thunderous snipers on here from Ice Haven. The joke being obviously that if they're losing, the sniper will, hidden behind the scoreboard, will be shooting the enemy players. And then this one over here, I have yet to decide what I'm going to put on this, but I'm thinking it will probably be something to do with Goblin Doom Divers, because I love a cold goblin. So, and then you can probably see that the bar sign is from one of the old Empire kits, and then I've just stuck a Bugman shield on the other side and painted it up. So I'm sorry for the very jerky walk around and the dogs in the background, but a few people wanted to see it, so I've just lugged the beast out. Focus, there we go. I've just lugged the beast out to show you Hammerhold. Hopefully the Blue Cocks will be playing on here in the not too distant future. Thanks guys.